You lost it. Maybe it was the third spilled cup on the kitchen floor. Maybe it was the screaming in the car seat on the way home. Maybe it was something smaller than either of those, and you still don't know exactly why it got to you. Whatever it was, you raised your voice. And the second those words came out, you felt it. That sinking moment. The one where you think, I wish I hadn't done that. Here's what no one tells you. That moment after is the one your toddler's brain has been waiting for. Not the raised voice. Not the spilled cup. What comes next? According to Dr. Ed Tronick, developmental psychologist at the University of Massachusetts, parents and toddlers are completely out of sync. About 70% of the time. 70. Not 50. Not occasionally. 70. And yet, those mismatches are not what damages the parent-child bond. What the brain records, what actually shapes your child's emotional development, is what you do in the minutes that follow. In the next 8 minutes, you'll understand exactly what your toddler's brain is recording right now, and the specific way to repair that actually builds something permanent inside their developing brain. Here's what's actually happening. When you raise your voice at your toddler, their amygdala, the brain's alarm system, fires within milliseconds. Cortisol floods their small body. Their limbic system shifts from connection mode to protection mode. This is why some toddlers go very, very quiet. When a parent loses their temper, you look over and they've gone still. They're not calm. Their 2-year-old nervous system is bracing. Dr. Alan Shore at UCLA's David Geffen School of Medicine has spent decades studying how the right hemisphere of the developing brain stores these moments, not as memories a toddler can describe to you, as something deeper, implicit templates, patterns. The nervous system's own answer to a question it keeps asking. When something breaks between us, what happens next? The rupture has already happened, but what your toddler's brain records about it is still being written. Here's where most parents get this completely wrong. Most parents focus on the fact that they raised their voice. They replay it. They feel guilty. They avoid talking about it, hoping their toddler will forget. But here's what the science actually shows. Tronick's research found that in healthy parent-child relationships, these ruptures happen constantly. Missed cues, misattunement, moments of disconnection, every few minutes, every single day. And children still develop secure attachment, not in spite of the ruptures, because of what follows them. When you return and repair, your toddler's prefrontal cortex begins to re-engage. Dr. Shore's work at UCLA documents this directly. The right hemisphere, which went into protection mode during the rupture, begins shifting back toward connection. As soon as the caregiver returns and the threat signal ends, stress hormones drop. Heart rate slows. The nervous system shifts back from protection mode to connection mode. But the brain records something else too. It records the sequence: rupture, silence, return. And every time that sequence completes, it lays down a template. And this is where most parents have it almost entirely backwards. Dr. Shore's research shows that the right hemisphere of a toddler's brain doesn't simply record events. It records patterns of relationship. Not my parent yelled at me, but when we broke apart, they came back. And then slowly over time, when we break apart, I know what to do. This is what researchers call affect regulation, the capacity to manage big emotions, not by never having them, but by knowing how to move through them. But there's one more thing, and this is the part that changes everything. A 2016 study by Lunkenheimer and colleagues at Penn State University followed preschool-aged children and measured their regulatory skills based on how their parents handled conflict and repair. Children whose parents repaired consistently showed significantly stronger emotional regulation, not just in the moment, but months later. The children who developed the strongest regulation were not the ones who grew up in conflict-free homes. They were the ones whose parents came back. Because their brain had learned something no classroom can teach, broken things can be fixed. Relationships survive hard moments. The person who hurt you can still come back. And your toddler's brain is recording that. Every single time. Your toddler doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to return. If this is the first time someone explained your child's brain this way, subscribe. New video every 2 days. Each one goes one layer deeper. So what does an effective repair actually look like? Because here's the thing. Most parents apologize in ways that unintentionally don't land. They say, "I'm sorry I yelled. I was just so frustrated." And here's the problem. Your toddler does not yet have the cognitive capacity to process your explanation. The reasoning goes over their head. What their developing brain can receive is something much simpler. 3 elements. First, name what you did. Not "I'm sorry you got upset." That puts it on them. "I raised my voice at you. That wasn't okay." Short, direct, about your behavior, not their reaction. Second, name what they felt. "I think that scared you." This is not just emotional, it's neurological. When you give your toddler a word for what their body just experienced, it activates the prefrontal cortex. It gives their brain a label for the sensation, and that labeling alone reduces distress signals in the limbic system. Researchers call this affect labeling, and a landmark study by Dr. Matthew Lieberman at UCLA, published in Psychological Science in 2007, showed that simply putting a feeling into words measurably reduces amygdala activation. It works at any age. But in toddlers, it works fast. Third, reconnect physically if they'll let you. A hand on the shoulder. Sitting close. A hug if they come to you. Not forced. Not rushed. Just available. That physical reconnection signals the nervous system directly, faster than any words can. It tells their body, the threat is over. We're okay. Now timing matters here. And this is where most parents try too soon. In the immediate aftermath of a rupture, your toddler's amygdala is still activated. Their nervous system is still in protection mode. Trying to repair while they're still dysregulated is like talking through a closed door. The brain isn't ready to receive it. Give it 5 to 10 minutes. Watch for the signs their nervous system is resetting. Eye contact returning. Body language softening. Approaching you on their own. When you see those signals, that's the window. And when you step into that window, keep it short. A practical guideline. Keep your words fewer than your toddler's age. Not because of a rule. Because a flooded 2-year-old nervous system cannot process a sentence. A 3-year-old needs a 3-word repair. "I'm sorry. I was wrong." That's enough. Their brain doesn't need the essay. It needs the return. Let's bring this together. When you lose your temper with your toddler, their brain activates a threat response. The rupture has happened. But the rupture is not the defining moment. The repair is. Every time you come back, calmly, honestly, briefly, your toddler's brain records a template. Relationships can break, and they can be fixed. That template becomes the foundation of emotional resilience. Not just with you, with every relationship they'll ever have. You watched this video. You're already thinking about the repair. That makes you the parent your toddler's brain needs most. Not a perfect one, a returning one. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And if you've ever come back to your toddler after a hard moment and wondered if it actually mattered, drop it below. I read every one. One more thing. If you've ever noticed that some toddlers seem to recover from big emotions quickly, and others stay dysregulated for hours after, and you've wondered what the actual difference is inside their brain, that's exactly what the next video is about.